Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I dislike when my predictions come true, especially when the consequences of my predictions, or at least of the predictions that I made, are negative, of something that I say, well, that bad thing will happen, most likely, and it happens. I don't like when that. I would like to have predictions where, well, these guys are going to stop the war and negotiate. I would like that prediction to come true, but unfortunately that's far, far down the road because these crazies did not use all their aces yet, so they're still trying, even though it's clear that they cannot break the whatever is going on in Ukraine. So what happened now? From direct experience with these weasels, their weasels statements, and then promoted by mass media, by corporate mass media, whenever these guys start talking about an issue, they start a little slow, small, and then they grow. Like, for instance, they want to send fighter jets to Ukraine. First they said, we will not send fighter jets to Ukraine. Why do you even talk about it? So when you hear something, why do you talk? No, we will not send tanks to Ukraine. When you hear that, that means the decision has been made to send it. But they need to prepare us, like the weasels. Ooh, we don't know what's going on, to groom us. Yeah, we're not going to send. Okay, all right. The decision has been made. You want to look at that? You have a pattern from howitzers, armored vehicles, HIMARS, Patriot, short-range missiles, long-range missiles, tanks, now airplanes. They got everything. Everything started with, no, I don't think we should. That would be an escalation. Now what's going on? They talk about troops. The troops will be there because they started talking about it. And now they're talking about something else, what I said regarding the escort warships, NATO escort warships in the Black Sea. As you probably know, the Russians withdrew from the Black Sea grain agreement because they said Westerners did not honor their agreement, which say, okay, the 1 year expired, we're done. You either fulfill your part of the deal, cuz, or Jesus, bye-bye. And these guys are all upset about it. And they also claim the Russians, each and every vessel that comes into the Black Sea will consider it as bringing war weapons, basically, to Ukraine. So we will inspect them and will consider them that way. The Ukrainians said the same thing. So the Ukrainians said, well, now we need help from NATO. And now you have NATO. I said, NATO will bring warships over there. And I guarantee you 99%, because I don't like to say 100%, that the Russians will fire at these NATO ships, as they proved with a drone and on the Black Sea, that they proved with that reconnaissance plane, I think in the Baltic Sea, that they fired, but supposedly the rocket did not leave the Sukhoi 27 or 29, not Sukhoi 27 or 35, can't remember which one that was. That happened. These guys have no problem. They are ready. They are trigger happy right now. And the same in Syria. They attacked those drones and they buzzed that spy plane, American spy plane in Syria. They're ready. Just make the wrong move. These guys are going to be like, bam. And you have this admiral, American ex-admiral, important guy, who's probably not important anymore, but he wants to be. And he comes and tells us that the Americans should send, or NATO should send military vessels into the Black Sea and challenge the Russians. It's like the Russians will send their ships into the, let's say, Gulf of Mexico and challenge the Americans over there. All right, let's see. We have here Sputnik, ex-US admiral proposes attacking Russian ships in the Black Sea amid grain deal spat. They might send them. I think they already have them by the Constanța, the port in Romania, but I don't think they will do it because that means they will get shot at. Definitely. Will they respond? Probably. And there you have it. Zelensky, mission accomplished. Russia suspended its participation in the Black Sea Grain Initiative last week, citing the systematic failure by the US and Europe to facilitate the export of Russian foodstuffs and fertilizers. The Russian Foreign Ministry subsequently warned that it could no longer guarantee the safety of navigation through the northwestern Black Sea. Retired US Admiral, these guys are without importance, but then they're featured immediately. They always, I would say always, my observation, and I will use the word always, okay, very loosely, but I always just start with a retired guy making a stupid claim, and then you got the officials unknown sources or anonymous sources pick it next to a second level, and then you have the officials discussing it, and then you have the officials determining it. Yes, we're gonna do it, but it's like always an a former something, a military guy, a former this, because he cannot be blamed. He's like, yeah, but he's a public, just like you, he's just a citizen. He can say that, nothing, no ramifications here. This is for me is like a click right now. Too many times it was formers, and I will overemphasize it next time when that happens. I will overemphasize it. Retired. Go home, Mr. Cantona. Retired US Admiral and former NATO Supreme Alliance Commander James Stavridis, who is irrelevant nowadays, but he is now, has proposed deploying alliance forces in the Black Sea with other people's children over there, or fathers, or husbands, and having them attack Russian warships if they attempt to target ships streaming into or out of Ukrainian ports. And I'm quoting, NATO and the US could escort the grain shipments at sea, something they have plenty of capability to do with 3 major NATO nations in the Black Sea. Stavridis, retired old geezer, told US media, referring to Black Sea adjacent, you know what it is, NATO members Turkey, Bulgaria and Romania, always with someone else's children, not with yours. Admiral, very, very good. And I'm quoting, with well-stated warnings to the Russian Black Sea Fleet, NATO should return fire if a Russian warship, I told you, were to attack a grain ship, which is essentially a humanitarian vessel operating in international waters. End quote. A retired admiral added. He makes a point, but if you take it without the context, it makes sense. Yes, that's a humanitarian thing. We're going to make sure that that grain goes over there, like we're trying to do in the Gulf, in that area. Again, bring our things, their things, and do whatever they want. We just help. We always help. You're humanitarians, man. That's what we are. Stavridis knows a thing or two about aggressive naval operations far from Western countries' home shores. This is the Russian saying. From 1987 to 1988, he took part in enforcing Operation Earnest Will. Jesus Christ, these guys have such idiotic names for their operations. But hey, the military operation protecting Kuwaiti tankers during the Iran-Iraq war. That operation led to U.S. attacks on Iranian warships, and on July 3, 1988, the USS Vincennes missile cruiser shot down an Iranian civilian airliner over the Straits of Hormuz, killing all 290 passengers and crew on board. War crime. Or not even war crime. A crime. I mean, if it's a civilian airliner, what do you want? So yeah, he's got some experience. But the Russians, at least, they know who they're talking to. Stavridis did not elaborate on the potential consequences of fire on Russian ships in the Black Sea, which would constitute an overt act of war. He doesn't care. He's about to be dying. So he's going to take the world with him. He lived his life. I didn't. I mean, I did, but I'm still, have some time to live. He doesn't. 3,000 years old? So grain deal suspended. So that's why when you hear, and I'm attacking, let's put it this way, saying it straight. I like when people that have no children make policies for parents with children. like school board, and these guys make. We had, for instance, Angela Merkel. I don't know if she's married or not. She has no children. It doesn't mean that she doesn't know or she doesn't have compassion or love. It doesn't mean that. But it's kind of like missing something when she makes all kind of determination on, school for children, other parents, and then tell them how to raise their kids. It's kind of like, I filed bankruptcy for 3 times already, and I tell you how to manage your life financially. Yeah, I might be let's say an economics graduate or a PhD, but if I filed for bankruptcy 3 times, maybe I should, not give you advice with your life. I could give you advice, but you keep that in mind, okay? So the same here. You have, for instance, this Stavridis, or you have Biden, who is 80 years old. He's done. Look at him. He expired. Let's put it. He's gone. And he tells us how we're gonna live in the future, the world. You're already half dead. Let's put it this way. Look at him. And he's gonna tell us how we're gonna raise our children, how we're gonna make a better society, and how we can change. And he's in charge of it. He can destroy the whole planet if he wants, supposedly. Because supposedly he's in charge. I have doubts based on observation of his mental state. And these guys determine the outcome of our lives. They're already done. They're about to turn off the light and close the door. And they tell us, hey guys, you be good over there, you do it. And they try to implement and create policies that will affect us in the long run, but they're done. I can't just come and say, I'm going to make this decision for you, but I will not be affected by it because I'm going to die in 3, 2, 1. No. You have to have a dog in the fight. You're gonna probably be a better policy maker if you have some stakes in the steak, like steak that you eat in the matter. If you don't, well, it's like if, for instance, you give advice to a banker to invest somewhere, but you don't have the money in that bank. It's kind of strange because you don't give a if that bank runs with the money. Okay, they don't really care. But if it's your money, you pay a little bit more attention. You have more interest. That's all. So Stavridis, I understand him. You fight over there. You destroy those. You shoot at them. Yes, he is nicely in a nursing home somewhere. In the United States of America. Irrelevant. But he's yapping again, and he's important. And I'm an admiral. Look at me. And he's over there fighting with other people's lives and other people's future, because if those guys will shoot back, you shoot at them, those guys attack this, that, boom, boom. He said, well, it's okay, man, I live my life, how about you? Well, I don't care, right? No, I don't like that. You need to have something in the game. You're going to pay more attention to what the stupidities you say. And I said, in a ideal scenario, yes, he's right. He is right about it. But it is not an ideal situation. From the very beginning, if you look at who's who and what's what, you don't do this for humanitarian things. You can do it for humanitarian, but the rest is the same goal. Russia must... Anyway, remember whatever those guys were. I can't remember. It was a Roman senator. I know his name, but I can't remember right now. He would end his speeches in the... I was about to say Russian Senate. Jesus Christ, man. Roman Senate, always with these words. Carthage must be destroyed. Carthage must be destroyed. The same here. We know the mantra. Russia must be... I can't remember his name, but I'm not going to look for it. You can look for it, okay? Roman senator. I can't remember it. Cicero comes in my head, but it was not Cicero. Jesus Christ. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. They will send vessels over there as intimidation. They will keep them away, but they will not do what this guy is saying, because they know the Russians are not in a good mood and in a, oh yes, I don't think so. I don't think so. They will shoot them. And then whatever happens, my friends, come over Red Rover, and they're going to activate 7,500 nuclear missiles and whatever, and say, no, now what? And what do you think these guys are going to do? Stavridis. Yes. He's gonna think, oh, I still have 3 minutes of jerking off here, so guys, don't stop. Everybody, come on, man. How did we get here? You're part of it with your little weasel advice. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.